What's up, guys? It's Matt with Galaxy Games 843, and we're back with another video. This time, we're going to do some unboxing and installing our new Nayax credit card reader in our Vendors Exchange revision door on our AP7000 snack machine. So let's get this box opened up and take a look. So inside, we're taking a look at the main brain there. That's the, I guess we call it the modem. We've got the MDB and DEX cables right here. And then we've got the cellular antenna that's going to give us our wireless connection to the internet. Alright, opening up the other box now. This is our actual credit card reader, and I think there's some stickers in there and some other things. Let's open it up. Alright, so there's the actual credit card reader. This is what the customer will interact with. Look how cool that looks. I'll go ahead and take that out of the bubble wrap so you can get a better look at it. There you go. How cool. Look, it's nice and bright yellow so that everyone can see it. And this is the Nayax VPOS model. Okay, we're at the brewing company and we are at our AP7000. Let's get that revision door open. Now this is a Vendors Exchange revision door, which means it's been a replacement door for this machine. So these revision doors are ready to go when it comes to credit card readers. They've got a designated slot that you can remove. They've got the universal control board, so it's ready. It's MDB ready. There's the MDB connection there. It's got the DEX connection, so everything is ready to go. It's fully set up so it can report cash box, report inventory, all that stuff. So that's why I was so excited for this to be my first machine to put a credit card reader on. So we're just taking a quick look at our snacks here. We're going to check our levels in a little bit, and then we're going to determine which spot we want to put the credit card reader. Now, there's a more ideal spot up top, but that one would require some drilling. That spot right there, above the little LCD there, that would require some drilling. I don't want to deal with drilling. I want to go with the preform cutout that's already in this door. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check my connections here, and I'm going to remove that metal plate right there. So as you can see, it's got 4 bolts holding it on, and those 4 bolts will also secure the credit card reader face. So let's go ahead and remove those 4 bolts, so that way we can remove that plate. And I'm trying to do it with a screwdriver socket, and I'm just not having any luck. So I think I have to break out the actual socket here. So let's get that set up. Alright, now we've got the actual sockets. We can just go ahead and break those bolts and just untighten those so we can remove that metal plate there. Once I got everything started, I'm just going to go ahead and remove those by hand so that way they're not flying all over the place, and I've got better control of that. So let's go ahead and remove those bolts, and I'll show you how that comes apart. Alright, now with those bolts off, we can just slide this plate right off of the bolts, and it's hooked behind some wires there, so we have to unhook that. And there you go, there's our space for our credit card reader. So here it is. We're going to go ahead and put that face right in from the back, and we're going to line it up with those bolt holes and get them behind those wires, so that way it's not catching on anything and we can make a nice secure connection. Alright, so with that in place, I'm going to go ahead and put the bolt nut threads back on there, at least get them started, so they're not falling off. All right, now that was the hardest part, honestly. A lot of machines you're gonna have to drill holes into to make those connections. I am so lucky that this Vendors Exchange revision door has that pre-set up, so it's so easy. You just undo 4 bolts, remove the metal plate, put the credit card reader head on there, put the 4 bolts back on, and then you can start making all your connections. So I'm so lucky that this was my first machine because I was a little intimidated, but after watching some of the other videos out there, I felt like this is going to be an easy thing for me. So let's go ahead and tighten those up, and then we'll start making our connections. Alright, there we go. Those are all tightened up. Now what I need to do is I need to make my connection with my network cable. Might be called a Cat5 cable. It's just like your standard Ethernet computer cable that we use for data networks or things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that in the back of the credit card reader face. And I'm going to take the cellular antenna and stick it in just behind the glass window of the door and route the wire down past the universal control board. So I'm sticking that antenna in place right now. We'll get a better shot of that in just a second. And I'm just kind of running that wire back around some of those, like that universal control board there. There's a good look at that board. And I've just got the wire just kind of sitting behind it for now. There's where the cellular antenna is. It's magnetically connected right up there behind that LED light. And there you can see the network cable as well. Alright, so with all those in place, it's time to start figuring out where I want to mount what we're going to call the modem or the brain, which is right there. So I'm plugging the MDB cable in to the MDB ports on that device, and it does have a magnetic back, so we can just stick it right where we want it to go. So here I'm going to take the antenna wire and I'm going to kind of size up how I want to clean that wire up. I'm going to go ahead and connect it, and then I'm going to tie that wire up so it's not hanging all over the place and in my way. Alright, so while we're doing that, I like to make all my wires look nice and neat and not look like a big mess. Even though I'm really the only one that's going to see it, it just makes it easier to work when going forward. Especially when you got to remove that cash box in order to get the bills out. If there's a bunch of wires all wrapped around it, it can be really challenging. So we don't want to deal with that. So I'll go ahead and get that tied up, and then we'll move on to our next step. Alright, now that that's in there, I'm going to route the network cable up around and plug it into the modem. And I quickly realized that's the wrong port. That's the LAN port. Make sure you plug it into the other port, not the LAN port. I think it's labeled as reader, so I quickly realized I made a mistake there. So now I'm going to unplug the MDB connection and plug the credit card reader MDB connection into that and back to the other side. And also, please note, while you're doing this, make sure your machine is turned off. I know I didn't get the filming of me turning the machine off. Make sure the machine is turned off whenever you're working with these. There's voltages running through these wires that not that you're really going to get hurt, but you could damage your electronics. So make sure your machine is turned off while you're making these disconnections and reconnections and things like that. So I got the MDB all plugged back in, and I'm gonna, let's see, I think I plugged the DEX in. Here we go. We're gonna plug the DEX port in. So there's the DEX port getting plugged in. And now I'm kind of looking at my wires like, how am I gonna clean this up? Better grab some zip ties, or zip strips as some people call them as well. Wire ties. I've heard multiple names for those. What do you comment down below with what you call those? Do you call them zip strips, wire ties, wire strips? I mean, there's so many different things. I call them wire ties, I guess. I guess I call them multiple things. I don't know. Comment down below with what you call them, because I'd like to know. Maybe it's something about what part of the country you're in. I don't know. But as you can see, I had to unplug the MDB connection there because there was another wire that was kind of wrapped in the middle of those, and I wanted to get that out of the way. So let's go ahead and tie these up with a wire tie, or whatever your choice of calling it is. Kind of make that nice and secure so the wires aren't hanging out all over the place. I realized it's still out, kind of a mess there, so I think I do one more. But let's go ahead and cut that excess off so that's not in our way. There we go. Let's go ahead and put one more on there so the wires aren't really all over the place. I was so worried about making sure I got the connections right, and quite honestly, you can't do it wrong. You can't plug them in wrong. Alright, here's another wire tie to do the final wire cleanup, so they're, like I said, so they're not hanging all over the place. They'll be out of the way. They're still kind of in the way of the cash blocks, but like I said, they're not literally hanging all over the place and in my way, so it's going to be much better off. Alright, so now we've got all our connections made. We've got the credit card reader face in place, we've got our MDB connection, we've got our network cable connection, we have our antenna connection, and our DEX connection. So let's go ahead and power it up. So here it is coming online. I realize you cannot see the screen there. 10 points off for my camera guy. There we go. There's a better view of the screen. You can see it all booting up, and there it is, ready to go. It says insert Visa, MasterCard, or present phone, swipe Amex, or Discover. And those are going to be the message that any customer is going to see. So here's my Nayax test card, and here's a piece of advice. I'm trying to use my Nayax test card to start making sure it's vending properly, and I didn't realize I had to call Nayax to get that test card activated. I didn't realize that until I went through my actual training, so you can see authorization declined, because that card has not been activated. So I'm going to mess with that for a few minutes, and then I'm going to try my own card to make sure it's working. So let's try it one more time, and it will be denied again in just a second here. So it says select a product, so I'm just typing in a product. It's going to authorize, and I know it's tough to see, but it says authorization denied or declined there. So I'm going to check my connections. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. This is my first time doing this, so I'm just making sure everything's connected up good. While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to check my inventory level. So let's take a look at those. So we can see we're low on Cheetos. Our Gardettos are doing pretty good. Doritos are good. Some chips have sold. Looks like we've sold some Cheetos. Different things like that. So I know I'm going to have to go back and service this machine very soon, because I need to get all of the MDB codes for each selection so I can start mapping out my products, and that way I can know how much inventory is in there and all that good stuff. So I'm just kind of taking a look now. Our Wise chips haven't sold very many. We did sell some white cheddar popcorn, which I think in the last video that we collected from this location, you saw me stock that back up. I can see I'm going to need to get some, let's see, what are those? Rice Krispie treats over there. I think I'm actually going to move those over to one of those cracker rows. We don't need 3 rows of crackers. And we're going to start trying to, find a few more things to put in this machine. When I initially filled this machine, I didn't quite know what all to put in there, so I just kind of put anything I could in there, and I think we can do a few more selections going forward. So I started making a list of things I'd like to put in there, and we're going to go and check out to see what Sam's Club has in stock. I did also get a BJ's membership this week though too, so I can start alternating between BJ's and Sam's Club, because BJ's is in the town I live in, but Sam's Club is closer to this location, so we've got plenty of choices. Alright, now that we've checked our inventory levels, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick collection, so that way the cash box is at 0. As you can see, not a lot of quarters. And remember, this whole pandemic is affecting our sales, so this location, no one's allowed to go in and sit at the bar or at their tables. They have to get, I know this sounds funny, it's a brewing company. They have to get to-go orders so they can take a growler or a sealed item home. And it's really affecting our sales here. So, I mean, it is what it is. We're going to have to go deal with this while this whole pandemic is going on. And, I expect that in most of my locations as well. So, with that said, I think it's time that we're going to go ahead and test it with my personal credit card. Here we go. So I did the swipe, and I realized it's got a chip reader, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in. I know you can't see on the screen right now, but it's saying to make a selection, so I'm going to go ahead and make a selection. I'm going to do the old, I think, 1, 2, 3. So if it works, it should vend some Cheez-Its, because those are at 1, 2, 3 in this machine. And there they go. The Cheez-Its vended. So the credit card machine is working properly. It's just not working with that test card because at the time I did not have it activated. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back in. Then it's going to be lock up the machine, and I'm going to buy a treat for one of the employees there at the brewing company. So let's go ahead and put all that back in. Oh, I got to check my levels one more time because I had a few things at the bottom. I just wanted to get into the shelves as well. All right, let's lock it up and let's go do one more vend. So I'm going to do one more vend with my credit card just to make sure it's working properly. Now the machine's closed up and locked up. Alright, here we go. So let's go ahead and put my credit card in the credit card reader. And let's make a selection. 113 this time. Those are Gardettos, which are actually pretty popular at this location. So it's going to go ahead and vend. There we go. Take my card out. And that's going to be it, guys. So that is how you install a Nayax credit card reader into a Vendor's Exchange revision door for your vending machine. So there we go. Let's do a last quick overview of how it looks installed. There we go. There it is. I do love these revision doors. Check them out. It's vendorsexchange.com. They've got all kinds of stuff, all kinds of replacement doors to make your older machines look newer. And this one I got a really good deal on, so I was very happy and very excited that I got this machine. So guys, thanks so much for stopping by. If you'd like to, go ahead and click subscribe, click that bell notification so that way you're notified when our new videos arrive or when they're posted. Thanks so much for everyone for your support. Leave us a like, leave us a comment, share our videos. This is Matt with Galaxy Games 843. We'll see you next time.